So we got opening image, theme stated, setup, catalyst, diving in, fun and games, act break into two, resisting change, debate, treble, first half of efforts turn on characters, all is lost, revelation, and final image. Now I know, many of you are gonna say, I'm not gonna use Blake Snyder's beat sheet in my short because it's need to make it predictable and make it bad. What is my short's controlling idea? When you're talking about a film that's about 10 minutes or longer, a controlling idea with respect to shorts simply asks the question, how does my main character go about getting what he wants? That's it. The controlling idea asks the main character, what do I have to do to get what I want? Or broadly, how does change occur from one condition of experience to another? Now, it's important to note that your film's controlling idea is revealed through story. You should not dictate meaning to your story. Instead, your controlling idea should be derived from your story. So your story informs you of its meaning. Controlling idea of whiplash. What is it going to take to become one of the greats? Hey everybody, Alan Northern here giving you filmmaking tips and tricks. And today I'm going to teach you how to write your short film. Later in the video, I'm also going to be breaking down the short film whiplash in terms of Save the Cat screenplay structure to give you a broad tool that you should add to your filmmaking utility belt so that you can make a more well-rounded short. Are you excited? You know I am, because you know I be delivering that fire, so please hit that like button and let's get started. Now, before we get into how to write your short film, it's very important to remember the very crucial step that you should take before you even start writing to begin with that I mentioned in this video. This video informed you to be mindful of why you're making the short film to begin with, and also offered advice in order to maximize your short's effectiveness. Successful shorts tend to have three typical run times: the 1-minute short, the 10-minute short, and the 20-minute short. So with feature films, we know our desired length is about 95 to 115 pages maximum. With shorts, we're giving a bit more flexibility with respect to its length and its actual structured format. But before we get into that, let's get the ball rolling to help you develop your short. So first off, what character or type of arc is front and center in my story?
We have a squeaker today, people. Neiman, 19 years old. Isn't he cute?
What is your character's goals and dreams, and are they challenged in this short? If so, who stands in his way? Who does your main character have to become in order to become one step closer to his goal? All right, so now we got the ball rolling, we got those juices flowing. Now you've got to ask yourself, did I hit the like button? Please hit the like button. So yes, it is important to ask yourself, what is my short's controlling idea?
But Alan, didn't you just say you're not going to know what your controlling idea is before you finish it?
Yes, that's exactly what I said. So you're going to write controlling idea, question mark, and then circle it so that as you're writing your story, you know that your short has to have a controlling idea so that when you arrive to the end, you're already thinking about it. And so you may have had a few ideas, but by the time you get to the end, you'll definitively know what your controlling idea could be. So you're not going to be surprised once you arrive at this step. Because one big step in your rewriting process is to definitively hone in that controlling idea and let it manifest itself a bit more in your story. So a key difference between a feature film and a short lies in how your short answers the question to its controlling idea. So a controlling idea with respect to shorts simply asks how he or she is going to go about getting what he wants. It could be about what that person wants in that moment or what that person wants in life. Films about what a character wants in life tends to carry a bit more weight for your audience. So that's it. The controlling idea asks the main character, what do I have to do to get what I want? Although your short may offer a few suggestions, the film stops before you can get a definitive answer because that's what your feature's for. In the short, you're simply giving your audience something to chew on, but you're not offering the solution to the big question that your short is asking. This is a short. It does not have to offer the solution to your controlling idea like a feature does. Because in features, a controlling idea is how and why life undergoes change from one condition of experience at the beginning of the film to another condition of experience at the end of the film. Notice the difference? The controlling idea simply asks the question, poses the question to the audience, dabbles it around in their mouth a little bit, if that makes any sense. Whereas in your feature, the controlling idea gives you a definitive answer as to why life undergoes changes in that world that you created. So controlling idea of Whiplash. What is it going to take to become one of the greats? So this is an overarching life goal right here, and you've got a massive asshole standing in the way. Highly effective. Another great place to start when beginning to write your short is asking yourself, what is the most captivating aspect of my short film? Because this is kind of what you're leading up to. So generally this is the climax, right? This big reveal or this big aspect that the writer is excited about. He's gonna save it, build it up, build the story around that moment, and then showcase it, boom, front and center for the audience. So ask yourself, what's the most captivating aspect of my short? At the end of this video, I will be exploring various tips in order to make your short film stand out. So please stay for the end to find out. But first, we have to decide what kind of short we would like to make. Let's begin with the 1-minute short. As mentioned in this video here, the 1-minute short is typically utilized in order to sell a product or service. Now, I found that there are typically 3 variations of the 1-minute short. The 1-minute payoff. This is a short film that has a setup or a series of setups for one big payoff at the end.
Bedtime, Alex.
Daddy, can you tuck me in?
Of course. Good night, Alex.
You forgot to look under the bed.
Of course. Sorry, buddy.
Daddy, there's somebody in my bed.
Number 2, passage of time. In this short, we're typically exposed to a character at one stage of their life, and we are quickly taken through many stages in that character's life, so that we see how that character has changed by the end. We see what conflicts and hardships occurred in this person's life in a flash. It's used as a tool to imply growth and development. This is also where the story's true meaning comes into focus. With these passage of time pieces, there's typically an overarching reason why we're moving through space and time so quickly to begin with. And that is to show us how life has shaped your MC, or your main character. It can also be used to inspire the audience and empower them to do something.
And here's Semenya. She's pushing on again, and she's breaking away. She's going for something special here.
Will it be easier for you if I wasn't so fast? Will it be simpler if I stopped winning? Would you be more comfortable if I was less proud? Will you prefer I hadn't worked so hard? Or just didn't run? Or chose a different sport?
Number 3, the concept inspirational piece. This is the most experimental of all short film structures. This is where we follow multiple characters, situations, patterns, rhythms, and structures within a very short time frame that reinforces the succinct idea that the filmmaker is trying to get across. Now, this story can be told through a variety of complex imagery that nudges the audience towards some line of thinking. There's also the 10-minute short and the 20-minute short. So these two have very similar structures. Both of these films tend to mimic the 3-act structure in many ways. Now, in terms of Blake Snyder's screenwriting lessons we learned from Save the Cat, or this video right here, you might be able to argue that each and every one of these beats were present in the Whiplash short in some form or another. But for the sake of argument, I'm just gonna highlight a few essential beats your short should have in order to feel more well-rounded. And remember, this holds true whether you're writing a 10-minute short or a 20-minute short. And to decide which one you should write, you should probably watch this video right here. And then come right back, because this is important. Okay, so far we have our main character,
Neiman.
and we know by the end of our first draft, we want to re-examine our film for its controlling idea. So Whiplash's controlling idea is, what does it take to become one of the greats? Are greats forged or are they born? Opening image. The purpose of this beat is to establish tone, mood, style, and establish the stakes of your film to inform the audience of the kind of film that they're about to watch. This lets your audience know what they're in for. Theme stated. The theme is the omnipresent, invisible undercurrent driving the entire short. For Whiplash, this is a deep burning desire to become great at drumming. The theme of your short should be discussed or alluded to around the very beginning of your short film. Setup.
You got nothing short of an ass blasting, I can tell you that much. Just had a foot fetish or something.
This is where you establish the main players of your film and set up the stakes in your story. Catalyst. This is the advent of your MC's destabilization. The main event that changes how your MC fundamentally operates in your short film. Well, how do I know where my catalyst is? Well, let's take Whiplash, for example. What happens if the teacher never walks in? Exactly, nothing. Diving in, fun and games.
All right, gang. Whiplash.
This is what we're watching the short for. Here we arrive at the reason why you wrote your short to begin with. This is the beating heart of your short film. Blake Snyder calls it the promise of the premise. This is where the audience should have the most fun while watching your film, and this is also where you should have the most fun as the writer writing it. You should be exhilarated to write this section because this is the reason why you're writing the short to begin with. This is why audiences are going to think your film is amazing. So in a feature and in the 20-minute film, this is where you can kind of take a break from the heavy stakes in your short, but in a 10-minute short, we can't afford to take a break in the stakes because it's too short. Since this is classified as a 20-minute short, notice he picks on other students in the room.
Stop! Barker, that is not your boyfriend's. Do not come early. Skipping ahead. Bar 93.
And the target is not on our MC's back, yet. Because here we're taking a break from the heavy stakes of the movie and we're showcasing the intriguing aspects about this film.
Stop! Now this one really upsets me. We have an out-of-tune player. Before I go any further, would that player care to identify himself? All right, maybe a bug flew in my ear. Bar 115, 5, 6, and... No. No, my ears are fine. We most definitely have an out-of-tune player. Tell me it's not you, Elmer Fudd. Play. Stop. Do you think you're out of tune? What do you... There's no Mars bar down there. I'm up here. Look at me. Do you think you're out of tune?
Yes. Then why the f didn't you say so? Jesus!
I've been carrying your for too long, Mets. I'm not going to have you cost this band a competition because you can't keep your mind off a Happy Meal and on pitch. Stein, congratulations. You are no longer alternate. You are now fourth chair trombone. Mets, get the out. For the record, Mets was not out of tune. You were, Wallach. But he didn't know. And that's bad enough.
Act break into 2. So this is where you dive headfirst into your upside-down world with your main character. We see this in action as Neiman prepares to be on drums. Resisting change, debate. This is the point where your story poses a question to your MC.
This is a huge opportunity for you. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Your parents musicians?
No, not really.
What do they do?
Well, my dad is a writer. And,
Oh, what's he written?
well, I guess he's mainly he's a teacher mainly. I guess, yeah.
College?
Pennington High.
What about your mom? What does she do?
She left when I was a baby.
So no players in the family.
No, I guess
Well,
not.
you just have to listen to the greats then. Buddy Rich, Joe Jones. You know, Charlie Parker became Bird because Jones threw a cymbal at his head. He cried himself to sleep that night, but it made him Bird. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Here, Damien Chazelle subliminally asks our audience, what does it take to be great? Here, the teacher disarms him by earning his trust. The teacher also informs Neiman about the big opportunity he has to get what he wants, to become great. This reaffirms the theme stated. This also places the antagonist in a higher position of power, because now our main character subconsciously has in his mind that the key to his future lies in the hands of this man. So he's thinking, I gotta impress that guy. So now we know the antagonist holds in his hands what the MC wants. Now we know this isn't true. He doesn't need him to become great, but we as the audience buy in. Also, Neiman unknowingly gives ammunition to the antagonist as he prods for any humiliating information about Neiman's past to then use and attack him later. So now the MC enters the scene unguarded and ready to play. Trouble, first half of efforts, fail on characters.
A little trouble there, no problem. So let's pick it up to 17. 5, 6, 7. Not my tempo, okay? 5, 6, 7. Downbeat on 18, okay? 5, 6, 7. The and of 4, bar 17, the and of 4, okay? And 5, 6, 7.
In your film, this is where doubt, jealousy, shame, anger, and internal discord begins to erupt around your main characters or character. Meanwhile, your antagonist or antagonistic forces sets out on a merciless onslaught on our main character. In other words, the antagonist strikes the MC and his allies while they're at their weakest.
All set? 5, 6, 7. You're rushing. 5, 6, 7. Dragging.
All is lost. This moment must reinforce how important your thematic premise is to your main character. And your thematic premise is code name for controlling idea. At this point, consider Neiman's dreams of becoming great crushed.
What do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
Start counting.
5, 6, 7.
In
5.
4,
1, 2,
Look
3,
at
4.
me.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Was I rushing or was I dragging? Rushing or dragging?
Rush, I don't know.
Start counting again.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop. Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference.
Revelation. A lot of the revelation here comes from the true reveal of the nature of this antagonist. We are exposed to how far this character will go to humiliate and torment Neiman to get his point across.
Damn set! Stop! Now answer my question. Were you rushing or were you dragging? Answer me!
Rushing.
Look at me. Dear God, is that a tear? Are you one of those single tear people? Do I look like a double rainbow to you? How upset are you right now?
I'm not upset.
Oh, so you don't give a shit about any of this?
I do give a
Or you are upset or are you not? Yes or no?
I am. Yes.
You are upset.
Yes, I am.
Say it.
I am upset.
Say it so the whole band can hear you.
I am upset!
Louder!
Upset!
You are a friendless, worthless, lip whose mommy ran out on daddy because she found out he wasn't Eugene O'Neill, and who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum kit. So for the last father time, say it louder!
I'm upset!
In your film, this is the deepest, darkest moment of your MC. So in Whiplash, not only does he take his private information and expose it to the class, but he maniacally rooted out this character's insecurity and exposes it for the entire band to hear. And then kicks him off the drums. Final image, squashes his dreams, and we get the band playing.
Start practicing harder, Neiman.
The difference between the beginning of the short and the end of the short is night and day. Now the audience knows how hard the road for our main character will be if he is to actually go through with his life goal and achieve greatness. His optimistic, positive energy is no more. So change has definitely occurred in this short. Not only did this conflict cause deep, meaningful change in Neiman, the audience's perspective on achieving greatness has changed as well. So there's so much going on here. And it's only 16 minutes long. So we got opening image, theme stated, setup, catalyst, diving in, fun and games, act break into 2, resisting change, debate, trouble, first half of efforts turn on characters, all is lost, revelation, and final image. So with that being said, take this advice or leave it, bearing in mind that the purpose of this beat sheet was to make your short film more well-rounded. When following this structure technique, notice that there are automatic peaks and valleys throughout your short. Now I know, many of you are gonna say, I'm not gonna use Blake Snyder's beat sheet in my short because it's need to make it predictable and make it bad, it makes it boring and it makes it basic. No, it does not. Your story's boring and basic because you're boring and basic. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. Structure simply makes your short more well-rounded and gives it a rhythm. So whether you like it or not, Damien Chazelle did not leave structure at the door when creating this short. He did not. It's pretty obvious that he wrote it with solid structure, whether it was consciously or unconsciously. Unconsciously. Like wrote it while he was sleeping. That's an error in my script, error subconsciously. Anyway, point is, this dude knew what he was doing. Now, without further ado, I've got some actionable tips in order to improve the quality of your short. Tip number 1, litter your short with as many setups and payoffs as possible. Think about a setup as a man hanging from a cliff, and the payoff is the man at the bottom of the cliff after he let go. So these are mini cliffhangers that you sprinkle all throughout your story. For more information on that, please check out this video here. It's on setups and payoffs. It describes it in detail. Number 2, subvert the audience's expectations.
Neiman, just do your best. Okay?
The previous scene is crucial to subverting the audience's expectations. The power in this technique lies in the writer's ability to reverse what the audience believes will occur. So you see what he did there? The audience believed that he would take it easy on him, but actually he didn't.
I know what you saw in there is worrying you, but there's a big difference. This is your first day. Metz has been dragging mud for 2 years. Besides, you're no Elmer Fudd.
It's a version of expectations. Number 3, avoid flat emotion at all costs. Give the emotions you'd like to deliver to your audience nuance and complexity. Give your short the depth it deserves. How? You can do this by employing irony. Take a look at the last line in this film.
Start practicing harder, Neiman.
So you're going to insult my ability, my character, my family, but then tell me to start practicing harder? I know we meant it, but since that typically comes from someone who's trying to help you, you wouldn't expect to hear that from someone who just broke you down. So it actually comes across as a final screw you. It even came off as a bit comedic. Number 4, employ depth in your characterization. How well drawn are your characters on the page? Do they have pet peeves? Characterization is the sum of all observable qualities about that human being. Age, IQ, sex, sexuality, style of speech, gesture, education, and occupation are all observable qualities about that character. You want to have characterization that's unique to each major player in your short. And you also want to reveal true character, and that's done when your characters are under the greatest amount of pressure and stress. Number 5, utilize writing techniques that helps your audience connect to your characters. A few months ago, I created a very underrated video called Get Audience to Experience Emotion. Now, this video arms you with the tools that you can add to your screenwriter's utility belt in order to get you to connect your story to your audience. For instance, in this film Whiplash, Damien Chazelle does a splendid job at demonstrating the antagonist's influence and power, which is one of the very many techniques I talk about in this video. And number 6, end your story in the middle of a setup. So this is a final cherry on top, and this just acts as a mechanism in order to keep your audience watching until the very last moment. Did you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. I've created a film called The Brotherhood. It's on Amazon Prime right now. I have a Clover key. If you are a filmmaker, grab yourself a Clover key. Please do yourself a favor. If you need to unscrew that tripod plate off of your camera, I got you. Okay? Get it right now. I'll put a link below. It's always fun talking to you guys. Until next time, peace.